Hey, what's going on, Shannon? My name is Mike. This is my brother Steve, and we own S&M Cleaning Solutions. And we just want to tell you thank you from the bottom of our hearts. The 30-day sprint was amazing, and you really helped out our company a lot. Thank you.
Right. Recording in progress.
Hello,
Welcome
hello,
back,
hello.
Jamie. And my name is Shannon Miller, and we're going to talk about what supplies should I pay for with my cleaning techs. Let me give you a little backstory of how this came into fruition. So, as you know, we spend a lot of time in our group and other people's groups, cleaning groups. And there was the cleaning business owner, and yes, I'm going to indirectly call you out. And if you don't like it, we can have a private conversation. But you were anonymous, and you had asked if it was your responsibility to supply gloves to your crew of 5. Now, mind you, we won't even go there about the crew of 5. And if she was responsible for supplying these supplies to her cleaning techs. Now, if you're working for a team of 4 to 5, if you only have one team of 4 to 5 people, you're actually doing 7 to 8 houses a day. Most homes have 3 bathrooms. So that's 24 bathrooms, hypothetically. I'm not saying one person. Obviously, if you have a team of 4 or 5, they're going to divvy up the wet work versus the dry work. But it's still a lot of bathrooms to have to clean without gloves if you want them. Some of the old school cleaners who've been doing this a while probably still don't wear gloves even after COVID. And that's a decision they can make. But when you have W-2s, it is your responsibility as the cleaning business owner to provide all that they need to be successful. If you don't supply them all that they need to be successful, then guess what? They won't be successful. And all of those training dollars are wasted.
Hello everybody, Shannon Miller here from Clean Freaks University. I am talking to all my fellow cleaning business owners. Earn your way to your first 100K within your first year by using the methods that I teach inside of the Pricing Blueprint Masterclass. It covers regular maintenance cleanings, top to bottom deluxe cleanings, and move out cleanings. See you there.
Whenever I seen that,
Right.
I mean, and I see why they posted anonymously, because I think deep down inside they knew what the answer was going to be, and that person did. They got tore to pieces on. You need to supply. If they decided that they don't
I'm
want to
assuming it was a
work,
she.
yeah, if they decided they don't want to wear them, that's on them. But they have to be in a place like like with my employees. They once a week, they go and they get all their supplies, all their rags, all their um filter, just everything. That is something that I have to supply. They're sitting right there uh on the table and there's boxes and boxes, and my colors are black and hot pink, so they're hot pink gloves, but they are supplied. You
Right.
that uh, If you have W-2 employees, you have to supply every everything
Right.
everything to them. Now,
There's a gray area when you first get hired on. We can discuss that in another podcast. But
right, right.
from a legal standpoint, especially in some states, if you have true W-2s and you don't supply them with gloves because it's a safety PPE, right? We all learned what that was during COVID. They could actually group together and sue you and file a complaint. And guess who's going to come knocking on your door?
Yeah, and not to
Who do you
mention
think's going
that
to come
you'll
knocking
get
on that door?
dinged by the labor board. If
No,
you
it's
have
even worse. The,
yeah.
the labor board will be involved, but guess who comes knocking on your door? OSHA.
Oh, we always
Had a
forget
couple OSHA audits, never
there
brought
are
them.
only a few things that scare me, and that is the labor board, OSHA, and the IRS. Those three industries scare me. I have a little fear from them. A little. I do not. want them poking around. I've heard that it's very unpleasant, so I fly right. I do
Right.
everything by the book. Um, I don't try and cheat the system because I don't want somebody coming up to me and saying, "Oh, guess what? You didn't supply gloves for this long." All of last year, let's say, just as
Right.
a hypothetical. But yeah, could you imagine that fine?
Oh, it's huge. It's a $5,000 fine initially. Here, at least here in Arizona, it is. When I had my offices, we had a dock area that you could load and unload. So my husband built stairs so that they wouldn't have to walk up the handicap ramp, right? Instead of walking around, they could just open the gate and walk straight up. Well, I had someone get upset with me one time for whatever reason, and they reported me to OSHA, and I had to replace the stairs. I couldn't take the stairs away. I had to build in new stairs at my own expense, and I had to put side rails on there because that was considered non-safe and illegal at my own expense.
That,
And because I
and
had
this is
already
your own brick
established,
and mortar,
right,
right?
because yeah, and I didn't even own this building, I rented, right? So
Oh,
because I had established precedents, right, I was now responsible for fixing the needs of my employees. So learn from my mistake.
yes,
After that,
please.
we just after it was all settled, we took the stairs away, and they ended up having to walk up and down the ramp, which was the long way. This is before, we switched models and did all the crazy things that we now operate with, right? But yeah,
Well,
it's
I
you
haven't
just
heard this
never know,
one.
right?
And let me tell you, your stories are what has kept me in line is because, oh my goodness, I don't want okay, the one with the eye wash. Uh,
Right,
do you know that even one of my employees was like, "Oh, now you got the eye wash."
right.
There I have an electric faucet basically
Mhm.
that sticks down in a tube with a little thing at the bottom so that you're able to wash out your
Well,
eye.
my whole
And you
thing
just
with the eye wash was the fact that I had running water in my unit. It wasn't non-running water. So it was just, I'm like, well, why do I have to? I have water right here to wash out their eyeballs. Why do they need,
right.
why do I need an
No,
eye
it's
wash?
just the fact that that was even brought up. Like, it's just good to implement those things before, because we all know it's 2025, and I am trying. One of my many goals is trying to get into a brick and mortar. Um, that's for another topic for another time, but I would like to have this all implemented before I even go in that direction.
Right. Just
But
like you need, since we're talking about OSHA, just like you need an SDS binder for
yeah,
each team that goes out, especially you in California. It's your responsibility to check it to see if there's any updates. So once a year, you have to put it on your calendar, check updates for the following whatever chemicals you use, and then you just print them out, stick them in an a sheet protector, slap it in there, and give each one of them
a
this
binder.
SDS so that if there's an emergency that they could figure it out. But 9 times out of 10, I'm telling you, if there's an emergency, nobody's reading the SDS.
Nobody.
They're like, just get it out of my eye, just get it
I
out.
know. Well,
Let me see for page
hang on
14.
1 second. Let me look at this binder that I have. Now let's try and find which
Right.
did I
it's
bring my reading glasses?
it's like trying to figure out how a fire extinguisher works after you have the fire in full blaze mode. It's just like, do I take the pin out first? Do I, it's just this whole dynamic. So these are
But
things you want to think about. But the reason why we want to discuss what you're responsible for providing for W-2s, not 1099s, is because of the nuances of this individual in this group who felt it wasn't her responsibility to pay for any PPE for the safety of her own W-2s. So make sure that you are supplying them with what they need. Now, if you have someone who has a really high ick factor, Now, what the ick factor is they're new to the cleaning industry and everything has cooties on it, and they go through a whole box of gloves in one home. That's the ick factor. So they're constantly, they don't want to touch anything. They have anxiety about touching anything. They're reaching their hands on the toilet. They're telling you they have anxiety, and they've changed their gloves like 50 times in one. You're laughing because you
Yes,
have experienced this.
because I have I whenever they first start off, yes, you're gonna have to stick your hand in the toilet, and
Right.
you're gonna have to supply them with gloves, and sometimes you'll get the and it's like I can't do it. Okay. You Yes, I have. That might not be the employee for you, but
Right.
I think it was more of the way and the feel of the pumice stone, or the sound of it touching I run some water, do something, throw some white noise in the background.
Right.
But
So it's an
no.
interesting dynamic. So if you have true W-2s, it is your responsibility to provide them. And if they go through a lot of gloves, you can come to an agreement that you're going to get 10 pairs of gloves is very generous if per house. So you're going to have to allot them out until they get comfortable and learn how to not rip them every time. And I know the fashion right now are the nails that are super pointy. Those people, I've seen them clean, but I've never seen them clean without ripping gloves. So and I would bring that up to them. Hey, I'm supplying this many gloves because you have pointy fingernails. You may have to kick in if this is a concern for you. You always want to have a buy-in, and you want to get hey, I'm letting you know that this is what it is.
And I
Um,
will say milliliters do it matters whenever it
right.
comes to getting gloves. Getting them from the Dollar Tree might not work, and you might go through several hundred if you're running a team of 5.
Right.
That's crazy to
There
me.
actually is an allotment of let's see if it put it here. I looked at how many here, let's cheat. I had notes in Chat GPT and I didn't copy and paste it. So let me pull up my Chat GPT really quick. But there was an
Perfect.
allotment on how many gloves each size business would go through on there, which I was impressed. Let's see, bonus offer, cleaning supply checklist. It said I believe it said supplier list request. Oh, it said recommended quantities.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let's
So
hear it.
this was kind of cool that it just brought, I didn't even ask. I was
Love
like,
this.
oh, this is extra
Yeah,
information.
I know. I
So
love
for small business, this is hypothetical. This is AI. It's not
it.
perfect.
Yeah,
But
remember.
small businesses, as in 1 to 5 cleaners, will go through a box, 100 box. I'm sorry, I can't even articulate. We've been talking for hours. A box of 100 per cleaner per month is what it's saying, hypothetically speaking. Medium-sized business, well, we're going to ask Jamie at the end. Medium-sized business, which is, it considers 6 to 15 cleaners. I actually consider that a large business, but a case of 1,000, 10 boxes of 100 are used per month. Large businesses are 16 plus cleaners, multiple cases based on employee count and usage. So Jamie, how many boxes a month do you go through you have 5 girls right now or 6?
It's on and off, so 6. Yeah. So
Hypothetically
yeah,
speaking.
it's 6 right now. I anyways, I make sure that I am on I again live in a small town. I can't always get over here to the Costco. So I use Amazon a lot, and I'm on subscribe and save, and I get a case every month, and I have yet to run out of them.
How many boxes come in a case for the audience?
Uh
10, 12?
12. Yes, 12.
Okay.
And I don't go through I don't go through all 12 of them a month, but I make sure that we're always just like, because the girl, they love their Swiffers, but I only supply so many. I supply some of the blue, some of the yellow, and of course, my personal favorite, the feather duster. Um, and I'm on subscribe and saves on those, on all of it. So, and I'm just now getting to where I know I've been in business long enough about what I need to keep totally stocked on everything.
What
So
the
I know
products
that
are.
12, yeah, I know that, um, 12, and then for those 12, there's 100 in each of those boxes. And we go with the 6 milliliter milliliter. And
I think it's millimeter.
millimeter, yeah, it's
'Cause
mm.
milliliter would be liquid.
Yeah, no, yeah, okay.
Milliliter, millimeter.
Yeah, millimeter.
Millimeter.
And
Yes,
maybe I was trying to put both of them together.
maybe. I
Millimeter.
like the thicker gloves versus the thinner gloves, but yeah, it's all a matter of preference. And then when in your hiring process, since we're talking about gloves, it should be a question on your application. Are you allergic to latex? Because there's always one fluffy bunny who is, and it's okay. You just need to know, because then you have to supply a different type of glove for them, right? That
Yep.
would be something that you would need to know. Just like one of the questions I used to ask was, are you allergic? I don't use um, Lysol products anymore. But I'm like, I would ask them, are you allergic to yellow number 5? And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, it's in Lysol products, which is what we use. I actually had a girl, this is what started me to transition out of the chemical into natural stuff, who was allergic to yellow number 5. So she and I went around experimenting on what she would have a reaction to and what she didn't. And I'm very thankful for that transition. It's really been a lifesaver and a game changer for me.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Definitely. So that's how that happened.
yeah, that's
So some of the things that we're going to talk about, these are all options. You don't have to have these. I've seen people pull up with full-on suitcases of it's like the roadies from a concert. They got like suitcase after suitcase.
I've some people will throw out a cart and wheel it in, and just like, oh, and that gets pricey whenever you're starting to, for a solo cleaner, sure, go out, have at it, or a content creator. We see a lot of content create. That's good, but whenever you start getting employees, that is not financially feasible
Right.
to give them those carts. I've looked into them because I like, the shiny objects. Oh, especially whenever it comes to cleaning, I am a geek over. I got it down to what we use in our my company now. But that took a little while. It took a little while, like, what works, what doesn't work. What millimeter type glove do you need? Those take a little time and experience, especially if you're just now starting off in this industry. And if you're just now starting off over trying to get employees, yeah, you need to make sure that something like gloves they have to have.
Right.
The products that you use in somebody tried to bring, I think it was some Lysol. I
Right.
think so. Anyways, it don't matter. I seen it in their bag. That's my bag. I pulled it out and put it in her front seat. And I was like, that's not what we use in this.
Right.
I mean, that's not how you were trained. We don't, what are you doing? Oh,
But
it's
those are decisions that W-2s are not allowed to make, and there's a reason why having the systems in place. You have tried and true product that works. And this is always the problem too, and people will still do it to this day. Is if I supply the products, will I have a discount? You can't you can't guarantee quality. You're using a product that's probably been sitting on the shelf since the 90s. And they
Right, and
around.
that's what I say too. I'm like, as gingerly as possible, I tell them, basically, you just call the professional.
Right,
No, you don't. Yeah, no, I know what works.
right.
Right, and that's what my employees are trained on, is to use the products that I use. And I love supporting uh those small businesses making their own all natural cleaners out there.
Perfect. It's just, and we could talk about those two people I have in mind.
Absolutely.
So here's a basic list of what you need in your kit. And I know a lot of people talk about, only carrying one bag. I believe in carrying one bag and two buckets and a high duster and a mop. And usually I'll, if I were still cleaning, I'd bring the Portavac, which I absolutely love. But everything else, you really don't need a suitcase or a
Oh,
carry-all cart. You just need a little bit of ingenuity to think about what you need. So the number one thing I put down was rubbing alcohol and white vinegar mix. Now, this was a big topic in COVID. Everybody wanted a certain percentage of white vinegar because that was stronger. And you'll notice when you go to Walmart now, they actually have 90% and 70%. Before COVID, everything was 50%. So if you put white vinegar in with the rubbing alcohol, it makes a perfect cleaner for shiny objects, mirrors, chrome,
yeah,
anything that you want to disinfect. If you want to disinfect your toilet, you can use it on that. It's a
mold.
really inexpensive product to use. Obviously, when you spray it, don't inhale. That's not good for you. Another one of my favorite products, and by the way, I'm not getting any perks by mentioning any of these things. These are just what I like.
Right.
Another product I like is Barkeeper's Friend, and I will be honest, I didn't use Barkeeper's Friend for a long time because to me it smelled like vomit.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna lay that out right there
Yeah.
in your lap. And it took me a long time to be comfortable with the smell and not smell that smell. I had to start off with liquid before I could even use powder. I would just
Oh, the powder is
bleh, 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 right.
that it does. It works very well.
It's a
Mhm.
superior product. It does have crushed up stone in it, so it can scratch. Please, please read your SDS sheet to know what it will do and not
Yeah,
do.
research your product, and what it
I
can be
like
used on.
the mop buckets. I like the red mop buckets that you can get at Walmart. I usually throw the gray spin mop thing that comes with it out in the trash, or I leave it behind because I don't like those. I prefer, flat mopping is the way to go. And I know people are like, I can't flat mop. It takes practice. I like the flat mops from Microfiber Wholesale.
Totally.
Um, High dusters. These are a game changer. You should decide what protocol you're going to have for high dusting. Some cleaners do it. Monthlies, they always have to be high dusted. So you decide if you're going to do it quarterly or every visit. A 4-foot ladder is always good to have. You can get them at Costco. I don't know how much they are, but if you want cheaper workman's comp, then tell them you won't go above a 4-foot ladder. Hydrogen peroxide is a game changer. You can usually get that at Walmart as well. It kills mold. It actually helps loosen up buildup in the bathrooms. There's a lot of uses for
So
hydrogen
good.
peroxide.
Yes.
It does have to be kept inside a bucket inside of your car if that is your work vehicle, because in the heat it expands, it'll leak out, and then the hydrogen peroxide will get all over on your car, and you'll be like, oh no.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I like Pure Evergreen cleaning products from Kimberly Gonzalez. It's a superior product worth every penny.
And their Cozy Bliss.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so good.
It is. And
So,
I don't remember her name, so you'll have to, I think it might be Cassandra, but I'm not sure. The 5-in-1.
Nicole.
Nicole, thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, no, Nicole.
I
Nicole
remember
makes a
the name.
great, it is a citric acid base cleaner,
Right.
but I've almost been able to just I really don't need to use barkeeper friend anymore. That stuff works
And that's great
crazy.
because then you don't have to rinse, right? You can just shush some water instead of
You
having to rinse the
can, yes.
powder.
That stuff is, I don't know.
One of these
I was
times I'm gonna have to
shocked. I was
order
like,
from her to try out her stuff. I haven't had a
yes,
chance to.
yes, please.
I'll do it. I'll try it out in my house.
Yes.
An assortment of brushes. I like old toothbrushes and really thin brushes to get all the nooks and crannies and like ovens or faucets or weird spots
I
behind
have
the toilet.
boy, I wish I had it here. We have both. So I have the long crevice cleaners,
Mhm.
but there's and it comes up under Amazon, again, a subscribe and save. It comes up as gun cleaner, toothbrush gun cleaner, and it has a stiff bristle at the end and a very thin, small bristle at the other end to get in those really small nooks and crannies. They're great for on deep cleans, move in, move out cleans.
Awesome. I
Yeah.
like those too.
Mhm.
Rinsey cups. This seems to be a pondering with you guys, and I'm not quite sure why the rinseroo is a big thing.
Ugh,
For expedience sakes, it's going to take 15 minutes or so to
to
figure
set
out
it up.
how to load that thing. Then you have like the whole liability issue. Get 2 cups from Jack in the Box. They're plastic. You can get a drink. It's iced tea or lemonade or whatever your favorite drink is. Take them,
Water.
wash them, stick them in your wet kit. You can put your toilet brush in one and use the bottom as a rinsey cup. And you have to step in the tub or the shower to rinse it.
We've seen that too.
Just in case, for those of you who have not figured that out yet, you have to step in to rinse it off. When we did a lot of volume, my husband's a plumber, and we would have them hook up shower heads for rinsing, just for expedient. We'd pay for the whole thing. We just would add it onto their bill as a little extra subsidy to pay for whatever it
Oh,
would cost.
well, of course, that
Right.
would be, yeah. Oh,
So
neat.
that way everybody's happy and
No
not having to
kidding.
figure out the rinse. But the rinse-a-roo thing can be challenging and it only works in certain circumstances. You guys all know that I like the microfiber cleaning cloths. They are made here in America. I'm actually
That's
hoping to be able to visit them in person coming up this summer. We'll have to see. And I prefer the red microfibers, or believe it or not, the purple microfibers. They have different thicknesses. And for those of you who don't use microfibers, microfibers can hold 6 times their weight in liquid.
yeah. Yeah. I we we have so many microfibers. As a matter of fact, I need to go through some of the old ones, and they do lose,
They do. They break
after a
down after a
while.
while.
So again, another subscribe and save.
Right. And then I also like window cleaning cloths. Now, some people use microfibers. Some people
Love.
use the special window cleaning cloths that you buy from the e-cloths. I like the good old-fashioned hut cloths that you get from the rag lady. And she's a recycler, so you're doing a good thing. It's not ending up in the landfill. You do have to wash and dry them a couple times to get all the chemical out because they're old surgical cloths. They've not been used, but once they open up the packaging,
Right.
the surgical
Or the,
agency cannot use
right.
them.
I,
White rags.
what is it?
White rags. You can take an old towel that you find if this is low budget, you can buy them, white rags. You could go to yard sales and cut them up and then find a grandma who wants to earn some extra money and sew edges around each rag for you, 50 cents, whatever. Or you can buy them pre-done from Amazon, whatever's easiest. Don't just
Basically like a washcloth.
right.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
you're recycling and it's not ending up in landfill. Flat mop heads go with the flat mop. I don't know why it's numbered down there on the list. Oops. And if you're doing flat mopping, usually depending on the style of flat mopping you're doing, it can take anywhere from 4 to 6, sometimes 8 mop heads to clean a whole house. If you're doing just the bucket method, 2 or 3 of them is plenty. It
Right.
does take practice to learn how to swivel your core muscles to go backwards.
Yep. I will say that that's another again, we're not affiliated with any of these people, just saying what we use. And I just noticed that um uh there is a new mop out. Normally I always go with microfiber or wholesale, but there is a new mop where it clips down onto the mop. It comes up. It's um I'll get to it. But the girls, it comes with uh automatically 3 mop heads. And they're much cheaper than your normal, because from microfiber wholesale, they're about $45, and you get the three mop heads, or maybe it's 2, and then the dust mop, the one dust mop with it.
You have the
When you
sun
order
coming in on the
from,
side. Yes, let me know how that mop works. I'm curious. I'm always curious about new product.
oh, exactly. And again, these are just things that I found that has worked in my business, and I have learned how to cut cost because of this.
Right.
Um,
And
yeah,
then there is the Hoover Portavac. You can usually get these for about $100 off Amazon. They're pretty indestructible. We finally had one break out in the field. It was like 8 or 9 years old. So it had been used every day for almost every day for 8 or 9 years before it finally died. You can actually change out the engine if you wanted. I didn't want to get a new engine, so the frame was cracked, so we just tossed it in the trash. We cut off the cord because the plug-in cord is actually can be recycled and used into a different machine.
yeah. Oh, so back to the mop. Sorry, you got
Oh, did you find
it's
it?
Mr. Siga professional microfiber. And I don't know. I wish I could show you. It
I'm
has
gonna
a
pull it
little
up right
claw.
now since we're looking.
Yeah, Mr.
Hopefully my
Siga.
phone ring. So I turned it into airplane mode. Okay, Mr. Siga, Mr.
Mr. Siga.
Siga.
Siga, yes.
Oh, Siga, Siga. Mr. Siga. Mr.
Like,
Siga is a manufacturer and supplier of household cleaning products, including cloths, brushes, sponges, and dustpans. Oh, I've seen these. Let me know how they are in use of ease and
yeah.
everything. They have this
Well,
weird setup.
it is. It takes a little practice, just like with any, especially with flat mopping. That's a whole different.
So does
And
it
if
come with a
you're,
special bucket?
it don't. I already had buckets. I have buckets from, gosh, everywhere.
It looks like it's just
Even,
a one and done thing. They're not going over the floor several times. So
yeah.
this would be great in commercial.
And it's great for whenever you're going, like, say, to on the front door, you pop those off. It comes out, it comes with 3. It don't come with the bucket. So you have to get the bucket yourself. The girls already have their bucket, but it comes with 3 mop heads. And at the end, whenever you're pulling everything towards the end, whenever you're done mopping, you've already vacuumed, and sometimes you get those little particles on the floor.
Yeah.
And so you can pull it towards you, and then right at the very end, pop those up, and then take that microfiber, just like a cloth, and then swipe it up and put it in your dirty bag rag, and you're good to go. So
We're the only weird ones that get excited about new cleaning things.
I am.
I'm
I'm
all
so
scrolling
weird. I
down,
know.
reading it. I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
Yes, no.
So,
But it
so
just
that might be an alternative. If you guys do buy the Sigma mop, please let me know how it works out in the field. I'm curious to see if it's scalable or not. And then there's vacuums. Pick something that you like as far as vacuums. Some people are diehard Dyson, other people are Shark fans. We used Oryx. Oryx can take a beating and they're really easy to fix if they break. But if you have a canister vacuum, there's some care that needs to happen, as when we discussed with the bed bug thing. And obviously the warranty will be voided if you tell them that you're using it for commercial use. If you're from
Instantly.
Shark, I don't have my name. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, those are some of the items. Did I miss any of the items? I'm sure you have a couple more items that you guys carry, but that's the bare
We
bones.
have to have the magic erasers.
Oh, magic
That
erasers, yes.
that's an absolute must. For the longest time, I did not use magic erasers. I'm like, what? Why?
I love them.
That trial and error. Magic erasers, we do have steel wool, but that is only to be the 0000 steel wool. That is only to be used on more of like deep cleans, because now once the deep clean has been done, or a move in move out clean, once those are done, you don't really need it after that. So that's the only time that I make my employees carry the steel wool. So there's always steel wool there. You mentioned
We have gum
toothbrushes.
brushes too. I didn't mention that either.
Yeah, toilet bowl brush.
Oh, there we go. That would good. Yes. Toilet
Yeah,
bowl brushes are
I
fun.
get the ones with the lid on it that fits into their bag. It has a no splashback on it. And most people, if my client has a toilet bowl cleaner in their house, we use theirs. So, it's not being used constantly. And yes, we do take everything out after every client's home and sanitize. Um, Ain't nothing to it. It takes 2 seconds and, probably a little longer than that, but it's just once you get it down and so used to going, it's nothing but a thing. It's not even, nothing but a thought. Uh, there are other specialty products that we do have. Some people like, they want their
BioClean, I didn't put that one in there either.
oh, BioClean's very good. That's a good natural cleaner. That's up there with, the pink stuff, Bar's Keeper Friend, and BioClean. Those are the three, and it's all about preference. That sun
Right.
is just right
It's
in
not
my.
something that we carry around normally, but it
Yeah,
is.
no, but
I like
those, I see that a lot in the groups, that is the three top. Some people claim that BioClean uh, works a lot better all day long for them, and I just um like I said, I use Castile cleaners 5-in-1, and yeah, that's
That, and obviously gloves, you would need a husky bag. And that would pretty much, if you wanted the short version, just what I listed off earlier, that pretty much covers the gist of
just
it.
some ideas too,
Right.
because some people, prefer other clean. These are just
Yep.
what we use, right?
Right.
Yeah.
There's no affiliation at all. It's these are just products that we love. That's
Yeah,
all that
that
says.
is it.
But that's the gist of it. So try to remember. I don't know. I hope that this individual, after me going back and forth with, I'm assuming it was a her, decides to provide gloves and not have the excuse that I'm not charging enough and I can't afford more gloves, which leads me in a panic because
You're
if you're not
throwing.
charging enough to supply gloves, you probably shouldn't be operating. I mean, gloves are a minimal charge out of your cost of goods sold. So,
Well, yeah, and I hope that they're not running a whole team of 5 in one house, right?
yeah, she was running
Oh,
that. So she,
I
when if you
misread
go
it
back in
then.
the conversation that we had, we're not going to say what group this was in.
Yeah, no,
Um,
no, no.
she was running 4 to 5 people teams in one person's home, which means that you've invaded their space and they're going to have to either leave or move all the way out of the way. And they're going to spend less than an hour there, and it's just stressful to be able to get, and on top of that, it was like, I would imagine it was a super low price. Again,
Yeah,
if you are that person and you want to go ahead and chat it out with me, I'm happy to do it, but I'm just calling you out because this is what I see. I don't want anyone else to do what you're doing. I'm here to help change the industry, and the only way to change the industry is to call people out who have bad behaviors. And it's not that you're an awful person. It's just I see a behavior that needs to be corrected. And I got to look out for everybody in our industry, not just one
Yeah.
individual.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
supplying gloves is most important. If they're wearing contact lenses, I always used to suggest to the girls and guys, hey, I would wear glasses because this is the
Safety
shield.
goggles. Yep,
There's
it's
nothing worse than
something
getting
that is
toilet water in
provided.
your eyeball.
That is something that is there, not very rare, very rarely, but it is provided. It is there just in case they need, down to booties. If they wanted booties, I got booties. Masks. I have masks. Protective goggles. We have it all. We got to make sure that our number one client, which is our employees, are protected. They don't get a lot of sicknesses. We treat them well so that they will take the sword for you, really.
Right.
And they will.
They're the golden unicorns, and you're
They
going to
really
make a lot of
are.
money off each and every one of them. And when you give me and I'm going to be blunt, when you give me the crap that you can't afford gloves for your golden unicorns, I'm going to call you out. You need to supply the basic entities of someone being able to do their job. It's like working in a bar and not having a dishwasher behind the bar. Oh, you're going to have to go in the back and wait for them to come through the dishwasher back there. You're not going to be able to serve drinks, right? So what do? They move a small mini dishwasher, a glass washer, up in the front, right behind the bar. You can't be a server in a restaurant without a tray. I mean, you can make it work, but it's a lot of tray. Then your person's going to quit, right?
Yes, and an apron.
And an apron.
An apron, and it's all about preference, but an apron, that is pretty, we supply, I don't know. Yeah, I agree 100%. One employee of mine last year, I have it broke down of what they made for this company, which is $67,000, and that is one.
Mhm.
That is a team lead, but still, I just, and if you can't supply something as simple as gloves, then I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. Yeah, reach out. Reach out, right? Because they're out there breaking their backs, and when they're left scrambling, to get just something, they're not going to stay with you very long.
No, and you're investing a lot of money. And I call them golden unicorns for a reason. It's because they are your golden unicorn. You're going to earn income off of them. Office staff, you're not going to earn income off of them. Your cleaners are going to, that's where your income comes from. You want to make them happy. Worship the ground they walk on. Give them
That's the whole
accolades
business.
on the back. They work. It's the 23rd trade.
Yeah, that really is.
But yeah, I don't know.
It
We'll
is.
see how long this business owner remains in business. And I disagree with her methods, and I'm just calling you out.
Yeah. And I agree because I seen it too. So
Beautiful. Well, Jamie, until next time.
Hey,
Thank you everyone for coming in. And the algorithm, if you have time, I'm trying to remember to do this to every episode. We're making some changes this year.
Yes.
If you are on Apple or Amazon and you want to give us, or wherever you're listening to us,
Spotify.
if you give us a review and you download our episodes, we would love you. It makes the algorithm kick us up, and it says you are valuable, and we love that.
We need to hear, yes, that you're getting some value out of these podcasts. And
Definitely.
Shannon, I know you put everything into it. So thank you so much for doing all this for us.
You're
We
so
love
welcome.
you.
Take care.
All right, bye.
The Structure, Scale, and Profit Cleaning Business Academy is the best investment that I made in my business. I truly feel that when it comes to being a business owner, anyone can start a business, but it's not easy to maintain that business. If you do not have structures in place, it will fall. Shannon Miller is a godsend. My business I nearly ran my business into the ground due to not knowing a lot of things, and thank God for Shannon because she was able to pull me out of the hole, and we are back on the road to recovery, and I couldn't be more excited. I'm so happy to be heading in the direction that we are. Thank you, Shannon.